Hi, I'm Patti Drapala. I'm from Starkville, Mississippi, and I'm here to tell everyone why I'm supporting Cheikh Taylor as the candidate for Mississippi House District 38. I've known Cheikh, I'd say, for the past 2 years. I've known of him a lot longer than actually getting to know him. But back in 2015, he was running for justice court judge because he felt, pretty strongly about the justice system and helping young people. He has spent practically his whole life providing opportunities for children to add to their education, to provide an outlet for sports and social activities and educational activities, once school has ended for the day. So I got to know him a little bit, and unfortunately, he did not win that race. But, I had this strange feeling come over me, and I was walking outside the courthouse with his mom, and I said, Shaq, I just have a feeling that you were meant for something higher, something better than this particular position. And he just looked at me like, okay, you know. So last year, back in 2006, he generously allowed the Oktibbeha County Democratic Party the use of a room in a facility. I guess he managed over on across from the jail. Beautiful little white building. So we had a Democratic campaign headquarters, and we Democrats would go in and we'd call voters, and unfortunately for us, that election did not work out either. So I had come up the day after the election to get anything out of the headquarters. I had a few dishes that I needed. And he was standing outside talking with Dr. Peggy Rogers, who is an educator here in Oktibbeha County. She's retired now, and she was assistant superintendent of the Lowndes County Public Schools. And we were talking about the election, and I said something to him again. I said, Chet, I think you ought to run for circuit clerk in 2019. Patty, I'm thinking about that. I truly am. So we talked a little bit, and wouldn't you know it, all of a sudden here in 2017, we have several county offices open. We're having a special election here on November 7th, 2017, and the office opened for circuit clerk, chancery clerk, Mississippi House District 38, and State Representative Tyrone Ellis announced his retirement back in August of this year. And Sheikh about decided he was going to take the opportunity to run for circuit clerk. Now, in this particular election, the state legislature in 2017 had changed the way special elections are held, in that a candidate could not affiliate with a party and run on a party candidacy. They had to run as an independent. So he decided he was going to run for circuit clerk. We talked about working and garnering support. We were supposed to have a meeting, and he called me on a Friday, and he said, Patty, I've come into an opportunity, and I have to think and I have to pray about it, and I'm probably going to get out of the circuit clerk's race. I thought, oh no, my heart dropped. And I thought, oh, we have such a good man because he's so involved with the community, and he cares about the children that he's touched. Many of those children are adults now. But if we were to walk down the street, hey, Mr. Taylor, how you doing? Of course, he has children of his own, and those children know, his children. But so many adults will come up and they'll tell him how appreciative they are of the things that he offered and the things he was able to do for them when they were children, and now they may be sending their children to see him at Project Brick Fire. So he said, I will let you know Monday. Maybe it was a Sunday. I can't remember the day. But I've got to make a decision, and I'll call you. But it's going to be a good one. So I thought, well, okay, I'll roll with the flow. I tend to be an intense type person. So he had come to a meeting of Indivisible Golden Triangle. We are a nonpartisan activist group. Our goal is to hold our citizens, and excuse me, not our citizens, well, citizens too, but to hold our elected officials accountable for the decisions that they make as part of public policy, part of enforcing the law and creating new laws. And so he came to the meeting and he told us that Representative Tyrone Ellis, who was retiring, had called him and said, listen, Cheikh, I want you to run for my seat. I can't think of anybody else who would be more suited, who could more than adequately fill my shoes. Now, Representative Ellis is not a person obsessed with his own ego. He has created a legacy, and he wants to ensure that the next state representative from District 38 fulfills that legacy, carries on that legacy, carves a new legacy. So he asked Cheikh to run for his seat. So, of course, I was happy. I was beaming smiles all over. I know Representative Ellis really well and have always thought admiringly of him. In fact, I remember the first time in 1979, he decided to run for the House. And I was so excited because he was young and enthusiastic and a vibrant, personality. He served on the Oktibbeha County School Board, and I knew he would take this county and its people, further than we would ever imagine us going. So, and I remember voting for him the first time and just thinking, wow. And when he won overwhelmingly with 75% of the vote. I'm sorry I can't talk, but sometimes I get a little tongue-tied. Anyway, he won with 75% of the vote. And since that election, I don't think he's had opposition because he has handled the job exceedingly well and been such a wonderful representative for the people of Oktibbeha County, part of Lowndes County, and part of Clay County. So we've been very lucky to have public service that Reverend Tyrone Ellis, because he is also a pastor, but State Representative Tyrone Ellis and Reverend Ellis have given the people of Oktibbeha County. So when Cheikh told me he was going to run, I was truly excited. I thought that he's a great candidate. He's somebody that I can get behind and really campaign for, because I've always loved to be involved with campaigns. I've been involved with campaigns since I was a college graduate, college student too. I've always been, I guess, politically minded and oriented, and I've always been a lifelong Democrat. I'm one of those yellow dog Democrats that you hear people in Mississippi talk about. So even though Cheikh cannot run as a Democrat, I was excited that he is going to run, because I feel pretty sure he's elected and turn around 2019 when the Mississippi legislature seats are up for election, that he will run as a Democrat. I'm very confident of that fact. But even more to the point, Cheikh Taylor represents what I want for the people of Oktibbeha County. I want a strong leader who's going to support public education. Public education is key to our county moving forward. We cannot allow our schools to wither away and that money get diverted into other educational systems. I know that Cheikh Taylor is going to fight for public education. He's going to fight for the Starkville, Oktibbeha County Consolidated School District. He's going to fight for the new university school that's being created as a partnership between the county, the city of Starkville, and Mississippi State University, which will house all 6th and 7th graders in the county. That's an exciting opportunity, and I know that Cheikh Taylor will work to advance the growth of that special school in addition to the schools that we have, and perhaps expanding in terms of building new buildings for schools, hiring new teachers, creating and developing new programs for our students so that they are more prepared for college and they're more prepared for life. Things have changed quite a bit since 1973. When I graduated from Starkville High School, I am a product of the public school system here in Oktibbeha County. And so I'm proud to see a candidate who's going to support, let's go further than we've ever gone before in terms of reaching out to parents and children and teachers and administrators, city officials, county officials, and the citizens of Starkville and Oktibbeha County, that he's going to reach out, take our hands, and we're all going to walk forward into a better opportunity for our young people. Our young people are the key to the future. Now, when I was 16, 17, 20 years old, I'm thinking, well, I have my future ahead of me. And now as a 61-year-old getting ready to turn 62, I want to do the same that adults did for me when I was a kid. I want to take children by the hand and lead them into the 21st century, not the 22nd century. I want to leave them in better hands than what I had back in 1973. So I'm excited to have a person, a candidate, an individual of Cheikh's caliber. I know he has a passion for public education. He has a passion because he's done so well in advancing Project Brickfire, a project that was started by his mother, Helen Taylor, who is a proud graduate of Mississippi State University, as am I. We both studied in the Master of Public Policy and Administration program. So I've seen Project Brickfire through the years do many good things for the children of Oktibbeha County. And I know because of Cheikh Taylor's involvement and because of what his mother and father taught him, that he's going to advance public education here in Oktibbeha County. I also feel inclined to talk about Cheikh's platform because of his involvement in helping persons convicted of felonies regain their voting rights and their rights to seek employment and their rights to obtain a driver's license and their rights to perhaps buy a house, rent an apartment. For the past 3 years, Cheikh Taylor has put on an expungement workshop. And this is done to help persons and individuals in the county who have been convicted of certain felonies understand that they still have a right to vote, and that in certain cases, if they fulfill the requirements of their conviction, that they can regain their voting rights. So he's put this expungement workshop for felons and other people convicted of crimes and attorneys and officials in the legal system. He's put that together to inform these people of their rights, that in many cases they can still vote. For example, a person convicted of a drug offense does not lose their right to vote. However, many of these individuals are led to believe that they do lose their right to vote, but they don't. So we need opportunities such as the one that Cheikh Taylor is putting on through the expungement workshop to help people understand their rights, become familiar, to restore their path to citizenship in this society. We want to do as much as we can to help people regain their standing, regain their citizenship, not act as though they don't have these rights, and that's because they haven't been informed, or they may be, for whatever reason, ignorant and or been told wrong information that you can no longer vote, or you can no longer buy a house, or you can no longer do A, B, C, and D, when the truth is that you can. So he's put this workshop on, and he will this fall on October the 11th at level 3, put on this workshop. Now understand, the workshop has been very well attended and will continue to be. So we're spreading the word about the October 11th expungement workshop. I also think Cheikh is very interested in working to make our justice system fair and impartial. Too many times the scales look as if they tip in favor of those who are privileged or those who are wealthy. And that shouldn't be the case, but sometimes in society that is the case. Well, he wants to fight for justice so that people, again, understand what their rights are. It's important that every citizen in this United States be treated fairly and with respect. And they need to understand that this is their right to be treated fairly and with respect. So I know that Cheikh is going to advance criminal justice through many bills that he will initiate or he will support in the Mississippi legislature if he's elected. I also like Cheikh Taylor because, gosh, I just like him. I think he's a very personable person. He's a person that you can walk up to, ask a question, talk to. You know, he is a very open person. He is a very strong person. He and his wife Jamila have worked to create a wonderful home life for their 2 children who are now teenagers and both attending Starkville High School.